Hello, world. Welcome to the 271st Climate Change Emergency Protest here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It is February 1st. I'm going to adjust the microphone. 2024. Next week will be number 272, Climate Change Emergency Protest. That'll be on February 9th, 2024. Presently, the third rail issue not talked about with climate change is climate change. I mean, it's a third rail issue. No politician other than the Green Party candidate, who's viable in all 50 states, will talk about climate change. It's a verboten subject. So right now, floods are more likely and more prevalent than they were 10 years ago. They're happening 3 times more prevalent now than they were 10 years ago. There are 28 events of $1 billion plus last year in devastation. 28 events of $1 billion plus. The reason why I'm standing here is because I'm showing the traffic that's going on at Gettysburg. So, not counting the there are 20 events of $1 billion each, at least. And then not counting the multi-million-dollar events. There have been huge amounts of those. And then even more events that are less than $1 million. So climate change refugees in the USA, many states have it right now. Louisiana, Florida, Texas, and California all have climate change refugees. From the year 2000 to 2020, 3.2 million Americans became climate change refugees. 1% of the population in 20 years has been climate change refugees. Worldwide, from just in 6 months, from May of 2023 to October 2023, there have been 110 million climate change refugees around the world. The border crisis, USA, everyone's worried about that. Well, you know, that's not one of the admission things to the United States, so you can't count climate change as being the reason you want to come to this country. So there's no real figures on that. But based on the numbers we're seeing just in the United States, you ain't seen nothing yet about the border crisis. So there's no free lunch for energy. Fossil fuels obviously have their problems, such as coal, oil, gas, and methane. Blue hydrogen is nothing but methane splitting off the atom, CH4, to make hydrogen. Green hydrogen is water, and it's electrified to split off the oxygen from the hydrogen atom. Nuclear, another issue with fission and fusion and the nuclear waste. And also biomass, ridiculous. So what it comes down to, all these energy sources, the main energy sources they've been using, are nothing but boiling water. So you boil water from these things after you heat up the water, and then you create steam, which turns a turbine to make electricity. It's stuff they were using back in the 1700s, basically, turning a turbine to produce energy to manufacture and things like that. So we're no farther along than we were 300 years ago, 400 years ago, whatever. Now, renewables are direct energy, but most require fossil fuels to make those things, such as solar panels and solar shingles. Now, you do have some possibilities with solar voltaic and the glass panes, also wind power and wave power, and also hydroelectric, which is also upsets the environment. And then you could have wheels in creeks as well. But everything comes with a price, and there's no such thing as a free lunch. So you do have passive abilities, which would be solar heating of pipes above your house to heat up your water supply. You could also have solar gain houses where your house is pointed south. But with climate change coming and the heating of the environment, that's not necessarily a good thing for heating up your house. You can have greenhouses hooked up to your house. Again, with what's coming in 2024 with the heating environment, probably not a good idea. Now, you could have apartment buildings with balconies that are constructed strictly to hold plants, such as trees and shrubs and things like that. That would cool down apartments. These houses here, as you can tell around here, none of them have plants on the roofs. It would cool down the houses crazily amount. Probably, I would think 20-30% of heat reduction by having plants on the roof. You could have also replant forests. I would recommend variable species when you replant. Like the Gettysburg battlefield has 8,000 acres. They could put in deciduous trees and conifers and rotate them around as they plant. You don't want one type of species, because if they get infested or start dying off, it affects the other ones of the same species. You could also plant with bamboo and hemp, quick growing crop and also can be used for wood and also cement, various things. Dig up lawns. No one should have a lawn at this point. Lawnmowers should be not allowed. You can plant your lawns as we did with shrubs and trees and things like that. And basically, we've had an amazing reaction to that as far as fauna and life on Earth, fauna and plants and things. We've had rabbits, turtles, snakes, bugs, you name it, in the backyard now and in the front yard. We don't have any grass at all and no lawnmower. So the neighbors around where we live poison their lawn with chemical, different companies that come around and spray their lawns with chemicals, and it kills off not only just the bugs that they're going after, but it kills off all bugs, kills off the worms. Any animal that eats any of those bugs that might happen to live there are going to get the poison within them. So it's a no-win situation. Replanting the forest, though, you could ask for volunteers. You could also provide government jobs with that, as well as the aforementioned building of windmills and solar panels and things like that. That's a boon for the industries to have construction done with that. Kids could replant trees at schools and things like that. Schools could be, right now the schools in the United States are giant fields of grass. They don't have trees around them or anything like that. And they could easily replant them with low trees or low shrubs and things like that, so they wouldn't have to mow anymore. The amount of acreage being mowed every week is insane around schools. If people don't want to do it, the kids don't want to do it, then they can sit in study hall or do whatever, have classes. But meanwhile, the other kids that want to plant trees once a day, once a week, once a month, could replant trees. A big school district could have a massive forest growing very quickly. So right now we need to stop the fossil fuel subsidies. $7 trillion worldwide per year is given to the fossil fuel industry. $7 trillion a year. That's $19 billion a day is given to the fossil fuel industry in subsidies to drill so they can make massive profits. That's $19 billion a day. $800 million a minute is given to them, or an hour, sorry, and $13.3 million per second, I think it is. Somewhere in there. The numbers could be off, but it's $7 trillion a year. It's insane. So right now, why am I down here in Gettysburg, other than the traffic? It's insane what's going on right now as far as the lack of media coverage as to what's happening. I'm in front of Democratic headquarters. Our president of the United States is a Democrat, all right? His authorization to allow Israel to continue to do their genocide has killed 27,000 people so far as of this date in Gaza. 67,000 been wounded, let alone the future dead from injuries, the future dead from disease and malnutrition. This is a genocide, okay? This isn't just killing. This is genocide. And that's killing of civilians who don't have any business of being involved in this so-called war that's actually a slaughter fest. Through bombings and shootings and whoever knows what else they're doing to these poor people. They're starving them to death. Their water has been cut off. Medical supplies have been cut off. They're bombing hospitals. They're cutting off their fuel supply. Both parties, Democrats, Republicans in this country, are wholeheartedly behind it. And I dare say the United States is basically alone in the world supporting this genocide, what's going on. This is not anti-Jewish. This is anti-Zionist, meaning anti-state of Israel and their actions, what they're doing. And to support this in these two parties and continue to vote for these two parties is participatory in this genocide. You're committing a genocide by doing this. So what am I getting at here? Well, the only party that's actually fighting against this is the Green Party. And don't turn this off, please. Just listen to what I'm saying. The president of the Green, or the person who's running for president of the Green Party is Jill Stein. They say, and if you go to the internet, they say they're a left-wing organization. Well, if you go to the basic, platform of the Green Party, their basic values. This isn't any left-wing idea. Go to the platform of the Green Party, bring up the platform, and read what they're about. These are basic values, which does not involve genocide, endless war, ecocide. What's going on with the ecocide right now? 2023 was the hottest year on record. And the United States, under Joe Biden and Donald Trump to be, if he's the president again, will continue to crank out oil. And they've cranked out record amounts of oil this year. This is the highest amount of oil produced by any one country ever, is what the United States just did. This is not a climate change president. The guy who could potentially come in, Donald Trump, is not a climate change president. The only one who's against this kind of stuff is the Green Party and Jill Stein. Climate change is one of their top priorities, as is the ending of genocide and endless wars. And their motto is people, planet, and peace. What's to fight against with that? I don't know. So try to find something you disagree with on the platform and look it up and get back to me on that, what you disagree with. So what I recommend you do is go down my Facebook page concerning climate change. I got articles for years. Go to Paul Beckwith, Environmental Coffee House. How you doing? Go to Peter Carter on YouTube. These people are on YouTube. Paul Beckwith, Environmental Coffee House, Peter Carter, and Extinction Rebellion. So I'll catch you next week for number 272. Please go to the Green Party platform on the internet, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.